It will
All right.
be fun.
It will be
That's
fun.
what. Yeah,
All right, it says
none
we're
of this.
live.
It should be fun. I know I'm completely ruining your intro, but I'm letting you know that this will be fun.
Oh, it definitely will be fun.
There's no should. It will.
Yeah, it definitely will be fun. All right, guys. Well, welcome back to Sawhook SitDown. I am joined by the lovely Dynasty Outhouse. Thank you so much for coming on, dude. This should be a really fun time. Big fan of your Twitter account. I see you tweet a bunch of funny stuff all the time. So I also looked at your pinned tweet. I like your pinned tweet saying that you care about people's fantasy football teams. I enjoy that take. Well, that's not really a take, but I enjoy this statement because I feel like in the fantasy community, a lot of players and stuff don't care about like your fantasy team or stuff like that. So it's good. It's nice to see.
Well, it's just silly because real NFL players should not care at all about your fantasy team. But it's just
for sure.
You try and tell people stories, and everyone's like, no one's interested. No one's just like they're waiting for their turn to talk about their team, and then everyone's just like, okay, yeah, you can stop talking about your wins, stop talking about your losses. Nobody cares about your fantasy team. But we all want to talk about our fantasy team, so why shouldn't we want to listen about other people's fantasy teams?
Yeah, isn't that literally the whole point of like fantasy Twitter?
Yeah, we sit here talking about it, and especially because, man, I mean, my whole deal is trades. Since the beginning of, I used to play redraft and I played the keeper leagues and kept, right up to Dynasty just because there's never enough trades. So I love talking trades. So, and I get like invested, like people like
one Troy.
Someone, yeah, hey Troy, someone will DM me once, and like I was. Sorry, I hit a button on my earbud and it just made noise at me. And they'll say, "Oh man, I'm thinking about making this trade, and this guy offered me this trade, and I'm thinking about accepting it." So and I say, "Yeah, go ahead, man." And then I hear nothing for 2 days, and I message it back. I'm like, "Yeah, how'd the deal go? Did it go through?" They're like, "You remembered that?" And I'm like, "Dude, like you asked me, I'm invested in this now."
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I love. I mean, I'm not even that big of an account. I have like 2,000 followers. I love when people DM me stuff. It's so fun. Like I think the fact that people like value my advice when like trades and stuff happen is super cool. Like I really like that.
Absolutely. It's still fun. Cool as hell. I mean, follower count doesn't freaking matter. It's all about,
yeah, for sure.
Because it's funny, like I haven't looked to see how many I have in far too long, but the real thing is I have far too many. But the truth is, I gotta say, like a good probably 60% of my followers are just like podcast accounts or something that no one actually tweets from or actually reads. It's like I have like 5 accounts because there's me, there's the Trade Addicts podcast show, there's the DAP Network account. Like I have all these accounts that I don't actually look at. I don't, I just tweet out whenever there's a show, and I feel like that's. But it doesn't matter because what matters is quality over quantity. If you have the people that will interact with you, that's what it's really about. And
for sure.
And that's like honestly, that's where my whole thing came from. Like I started like 4 years ago at this point, and back then there was like 2-3 people that would retweet trades and no one would really respond. So literally all I did was respond to every single trade poll out there, and that's the only reason if I came onto the scene now, like I probably wouldn't have any followers just because everyone's here now. But 4 years ago, that wasn't the case.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy how different I'm sure things are from like 4 years ago to now. Like I mean, I bet there's like way less fantasy podcasts and no one's like talking trades like you were saying. It's really interesting how like oversaturated things, well, not oversaturated necessarily, but it's pretty saturated as far as the market with like podcasts and stuff like that are just a few years later. Like I just really started like actually like making content like last August. So I mean I've barely started doing stuff. So yeah, it's been crazy so far. I'm loving every bit of it though. Like kind of like what you said, like I used to play redraft very casually back in like I mean I was only born in like 2001, so I'm not that old, but I started playing redraft in like 2013 or 14 probably, maybe even a little later than that, like very casually. And then I started the Fantasy Footballers podcast is what really got me into it. I mean, I seeked it out. Obviously, I was starting to get more into it, obviously, but listening to their show and actually starting to gain some actual, like insight and advice and analysis into fantasy made me a lot better of a player. And then from there on out, I joined my first Dynasty league, I believe, in the off season. I remember like the first thing I did, like I inherited an orphan over on Sleeper, and I took Josh Jacobs as the 101 in the rookie draft. And then that was like my first like move I've made in my life. And then that's like I've been playing Dynasty ever since, obviously. Kind of like what you said, because the amount of interactions and engagement that is required in a Dynasty league with all the managers is a lot better than redraft. So That's what really got me into it.
Yeah, my first rookie drafts were mostly okay. Now I'm hearing the echo in case I don't know.
Okay,
If
let me
you're
turn that on.
or
Yeah, sorry.
Just making sure because I don't want it to screw up with your thing. You had Josh Jacobs as your first draft pick, and that's awesome. Most of my first draft picks were Corey Coleman and Josh Doxson. So, like, if we're basing what our first picks were, I probably should have quit Dynasty right away.
Yeah, probably.
Man, that did not go well for me. I was so happy when someone took Michael Thomas ahead of Josh Doxson. I'm like, oh yeah, you take Michael Thomas. I don't care. I'm going to get Josh Doxson. Yeah, right. Come on. Just shows. Just keep going, man.
Imagine right? taking Josh Doxson ahead of Michael Thomas. No, I'm kidding, but that's crazy. Well, how touted was Michael Thomas coming out? I don't even remember. Like,
there was a big thing calling because there were two Michael Thomases coming out that year. There was
there was?
Yeah, there was Michael Thomas, from the Saints, and then there was Mike Thomas, who was drafted by the Rams, I think. And, there was a bunch of people, like, I remember Matt Kelly was big on this, where he called Michael Thomas that went to the Saints. I can't remember colleges anymore. The Michael Thomas that went to the Saints, he was calling him bad Michael Thomas, and he was calling the other one good Michael Thomas.
Really?
Yes. Like,
that's
this is
funny.
like it was a thing, like this, like he was bad Michael Thomas, and he was getting drafted like Justin Jefferson range, like that 108
like
to 110. Yeah, towards the end of the first, Sterling Shepard went ahead of him a bunch of times. Like that's right. Like, because
that sucks.
Oh, he was Ohio State, I think. Like no one ever really knew. Ohio State receivers, they don't. So no one really, and then just. So yeah, that draft was not kind to me, but thankfully, I won a league that year, so that didn't make me just give up on everything.
Well, there you go. That'll always do it for you. I don't know if I've won a dynasty league yet.
See, yeah, that I definitely got suckered that first year. I got super freaking lucky my first year, trading for just the right people at the right time. David Johnson, Mike Evans, and Doug Baldwin went nuts in 2017.
It's tough to win a really competitive dynasty league because everyone knows what they're doing, or like at least kind of.
Yeah, it's funny. Like that's when you need to get lucky with your Damian Williams or CJ Andersons, like those guys that end up winning
Montgomery.
at the end. Yeah, the guys that just go straight down the end that don't really have any or a lot of value towards the beginning. But also that makes it a lot of fun. Like trading in these leagues is like I used to be very big on my first trade offer used to be bad. Like it was like an introductory, like if they accept it, I laugh. And chances are they were going to reject it and counter, and that's when we go a little back and forth. I can't do that anymore with the people. Like, first of all, I haven't, like, a lot of the leagues I started at least are still going, so they just know me by now. So, and I made the mistake of saying it on my show once, like, maybe like my third offer is like my best offer. Because the first one I'm going to get in there, I'm just going to be like, here, I'm interested. Maybe you like this guy more than I do that I'm trying to give you. Maybe you'll accept it and I'll just be super happy.
Half the time it's a hard decline, but you throw it out there.
Yeah, why not? Because sometimes you get lucky and they take it. The next one is like, I'm feeling it. This is good. This will be cool if he takes it. But if not, all right, that's fine. And that third one's like, all right, no, let's get this deal done. And it got to the point where I would, be talking to someone and be like, dude, just give me your third offer. And I'm like, all right, I screwed myself over on this one.
That's funny that they just wanted to jump to the point of your third offer because they knew it was a good one. That's wild. And my leagues, I mean, I try to be fair with my trade offers. Like I don't like to be the low baller, There's a guy in my leagues that we're good friends with this guy. His name's Jay. Is at Pick on the Block on Twitter. Great follow. He's a smaller account. He's an awesome dude. He's like my fantasy rival, I'd say. Just because he's like, I'm always kind of like, I follow my gut a lot more of the time, and he's like very analytical and like he's the kind of dude like you send him a trade offer and he's like, yeah, but like the values are off. I'm like, dude, that's a fair trade. And he's like, no, but like, why do you think that? And he like makes me like give him like an analytical like reason to like why I like the player. I'm like, dude, I don't know. Just like just look at the trade offers. But he's the notorious low baller in our leagues, but he has built in our main dynasty league that's been going for a couple years now. There's 3 really, really good teams, and his is disgusting. Like I'm going to read you his roster in a second, and you're going to be like, how is this legal? My team in that league's pretty good. This is my team. It's a 12-team Dynasty Superflex. Russ has his fantasy nemesis.
I was going to say that, yes. When you were talking about that was exactly what came to mind. Me and Bosch are so different because he's exactly like you. He is hardwired for value. And me is just like, this sounds like fun. Let's do that.
Yeah, I do that. I kind of do that too, though. Like I go out and get my players, and like it's just a fun time. Like I want to get Antonio Gibson in like every league I play in, but sometimes people just don't let me have him because I love him.
No, yeah, his hype is, if he's in the hands of someone who believes the hype, he's a first round pick, and you're not getting him unless you're paying, who's Cam Akers plus or CeeDee Lamb plus or Justin Jefferson probably straight up.
I would take CeeDee Lamb straight up for Gibson.
No, CeeDee Lamb way over Gibson. I'm team. I love wide receivers. I'm not the biggest running back guy, so I would easily take CeeDee Lamb.
I tweeted this earlier. I think a lot of people were overlooking Austin Eckler.
I love Austin Eckler. I'm a big Eckler guy. See, he's a pass catcher, so that kind of fits in with me liking wide receivers, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And Herbert was dumping it off a lot, so I think Eckler is awesome for the value you can get him at.
Eckler is awesome. But anyway, my roster in this league right now, I made it to the championship game last year and lost. I have Aaron Rodgers, Alvin Kamara, Antonio Gibson, Tyreek Hill, Mike Evans, Darren Waller, Tyler Lockett, Miles Sanders, Austin Eckler, Matthew Stafford. And then on my bench, I still have Cooper Kupp, T. Higgins, and Dallas Goedert. My team is very good. And I have the 109. But and that's the third best team in the league.
Damn.
This is what I think is the second best team in the league.
Mm-hmm.
He has Mahomes, Josh Jacobs, J.K. Dobbins, Devontae Adams, DeAndre Hopkins, Hayden Hurst, Stephon Diggs, Kenny Galladay, David Montgomery, Dak Prescott, Nick Foles, Mitch Trubisky. Who else? Do you have anyone else? Brandon Ayuk, Jonnu Smith. He also has the 105 and 110 this year. And then
wow, so he's going to take Pitts at the 105 and have like a disgusting team because that Hayden Hurst is like the only weak spot on that entire thing. Wow, probably. And there's a team better than this.
This next team is better than that one. Damn. So that last team was the team that beat me in the championship this past year because his team's so good. And then this guy is my rival, Jay. He has the greatest team I've laid eyes on, arguably. He has Watson, which kind of hurts him a little bit.
It sucks a little bit now. Yeah.
He's still really good. So his QB2, I think, right now is Cam Newton because Watson is, Watson. But listen to this team. This team is disgusting. All of his players got injured last year, though, so he didn't make it to the title game or anything like that. But his team is so good. He has Russell Wilson, Zeke, Nick Chubb, Keenan Allen, Allen Robinson. He has Eric Ebron starting, but he has Kittle, so ignore that. Christian McCaffrey, Chris Godwin, Amari Cooper, Deshaun Watson, Cam Newton, Damian Williams, Joe Mixon, Tariq Cohen, Saquon, Tony Pollard, Robert Tonyan, Jack Doyle, Hunter Henry, and George Kittle. And on the taxi squad, he has Jerry Jeudy, Justin Jefferson, and Lynn Bowden.
Yeah. That's good.
His team is loaded.
Your team just offered you a follow, buddy.
Yeah, I'm screwed.
Yeah, anyway. You blow it up. Start all over.
You think I should?
No, I mean, no, but you're gonna need some luck of guys getting injured. Just like, is this a 4-team league? Like,
no, it's 12. There's just some guys. There's some guys who like tried to kind of rebuild and did a poor job, and their teams are pretty bad. And then there's a few teams that are like medium-ish competitive, and then there's one team that like blew it up. That's going to be really good in the future. Like this year, he has 4 first-round picks, including the 101.
Nice.
He has 3 first-round picks next year.
Nice.
And 5 first-round picks in 2023. And a lot of seconds along the way. He has little garbage on his roster, though. The only good player he has on his roster is Joe Burrow.
That's I mean, he's going to be rolling into next year with Burrow and Lawrence. So even if he has no one else, those first 2 things look pretty. And that's what matters, right?
It's crazy. Yeah, but okay, let's get to Bob's question. So rank these 3 in Dynasty: Austin Eckler, Josh Jacobs, and James Robinson. I don't want to pull up my rankings, but I'm going to. I'm not too sure.
I mean, I'll tell you because I don't actually do rankings because that's work and I don't like doing work.
That's fair.
All right, so I'm low on Josh Jacobs.
fair.
That's a lie. I haven't always been low on Josh Jacobs. I've been low on Josh Jacobs since I saw what they want to use him as, because they use him wrong.
Oh yeah, they do. They don't pass him the freaking ball.
And he's a pass catcher. Like what?
Exactly. Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to go James Robinson, Austin Eckler, Josh Jacobs, and that could be changed. I really think the Chargers are going to bring someone else in the backfield, because
they easily could.
They should, because I mean, Josh Kelly was great for about 3 minutes and then was kind of bad the rest of the year. And
was he great or was he okay?
For like those 2 games, he kind of was looking kind of great, and then he wasn't. And then I'm completely blanking on the other guy. I think he went to Northwestern, something with Jays also. But yeah, like they don't really have a solid, like real solid runner, like a 2-down back kind of guy. Because while Austin Eckler probably could be a workhorse kind of guy, he shouldn't be. I don't know if his body necessarily holds up for that, but like give him a good 60% of the touches, get a 2-down back guy, and then a guy just use Joshua Kelly to spell. And I think, you know, that team is just going to be freaking great, because Herbert, Keenan, I guess they need a tight end now. And
they do.
Holding out hope for Mike Williams. I am #Team Clemson big wide receiver, so I believe in Mike Williams. He is going to be a thing.
Mike Williams for like 4 years now.
It's going to be I can easily rationalize his first 2 years being crap, and I don't care how much of a crap it is for me rationalizing it. But come on, like the dude came into his rookie year with a hamstring injury that kept him out of all of camp and missed like the first few weeks. And then it just kept getting re-aggravated because he just wanted to get back out on the field. And then he had like another neck injury like the second year. So like he didn't really have a beginning to his Justin Jackson. Thank you. I knew there were J's involved, but then I kept saying Josh Jackson, and that's the, you know, Charlie from the Mighty Ducks. And so I knew I was wrong.
Yeah, the rank I had for those 3 real quick is where were they? I have Robinson, then Jacobs, and Eckler. But
I mean, that's probably closer to the right. I know having Jacobs on the bottom is wrong, but like I said, I don't necessarily care.
Yeah, I
go by how I feel.
Changed them. I had Jacobs on top of all 3, but that just didn't feel right. I feel like I have to have J-Rob over him.
Yeah, and it's good that he's finally Robinson's finally getting the respect he deserves. Like they didn't do anything in free agency, so I think, and they can't spend high capital on a running back. It would just be so dumb.
I think maximum 3rd or 4th round. I don't even know about that.
4th round would be fine. Like day 2 would feel a little icky for him, but once you hit 4th round, I just feel like that's backup. You don't want to give a dude 99% of the touches because he will die eventually and sooner than you want him to. So yeah, James Robinson, I think, needs to be pushed way high. And if they would just give Jacobs a couple of targets a game, it would push him up. Yeah. And I have no shares of him anymore because I did at the beginning of the season because Gruden said all the right things before last season started. He always says
all the right things.
I know, and I'm done now. I'm done listening to Gruden, but I was ready for it. I was ready for those catches.
About this some rumors coming out of the Raiders camp saying that they kind of want to use Kenyon Drake as like a gadgety wide receiver kind of thing.
I don't think he's good enough for that, but
he is.
All right, sure. I mean, if it works, I mean, you had Lynn. Wait, no, they have Lynn Bowden. Why would they do that with Kenyon Drake?
Thanks, Bob. I appreciate it, man. Thanks for stopping by. Shout out Matty Big Chest on Twitter. He made this for me. He made me a logo for like $20, and then he made all this like stream layout thing that you see on the screen for free. So he's the dude. I appreciate him.
Yes, he has designed multiple of my league sites at this point.
Yeah, he's awesome. Yeah, but so let's get into some Seahawks talk. So you're a Seahawks fan. I'm interested to talk about the Seahawks. I don't think I've really talked Seahawks with a Seahawks fan besides like a Twitter thread. So it should be entertaining. I brought up some questions before we started the stream. So first things first, I want to ask you how you felt about the Tyler Lockett contract.
I got it. I understand it. He's great for the team. Him and Russell Wilson. They had that year 2 years ago, where he literally had a perfect passer rating to Tyler Lockett, which is disgusting.
That was just 2 seasons ago.
Yeah, 2 years ago, like 2 or 3 years ago. And
thanks, Brian.
And Seattle likes their guys as long as they stay in line, I guess. Once you start mouthing off like Chancellor and Earl Thomas did, then either you retire or you get shipped out. But no, like They love Tyler Lockett, so they will keep him here. They'll give him extra money just, because they want to show their respect. That is something they do. That's something they've done, and I'm completely fine with it because while I'm kind of off of him in fantasy, he's great in the NFL.
That's for sure. Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I feel like it was an expensive contract, potentially for Tyler Lockett. I didn't have a problem with it at all. I just brought it up because John Helmkamp on Twitter, he's one of the Seahawks fans I follow, and he was very upset about the contract.
It's a lot of money. It absolutely was. And if they were big free agency people, I'd be more upset about it. But they're not. They don't really. They trade a bit more than they do, which
they've been very active in trades recently.
Yeah, the past few years, like I remember trading for Jimmy Graham, Percy Harvin, Jimmy Graham, like back before trading for players was as big as it was now. Mm-hmm. So yeah, they've always been. First of all, I think they just hate drafting in the first round, or they know they suck at it. They traded a first for Percy, traded a first for Jimmy Graham, traded 2 for Jamal Adams. Like and when they don't, they draft a bad offensive lineman or. It hurts to say the name Rashad Penny. I know who it was. It got stuck in this area because it was one of the worst draft picks ever.
Yeah, it hasn't worked out very well for you. All right, Brian asked how we feel about Chris Carson next season. RB1 possible, probable. I feel like he's going to be around like the RB18 to like 11ish range. I feel like that's kind of where Chris Carson lives. And as long as he doesn't get really injured, as Chris Carson does sometimes, I feel like he'll definitely be hovering in that range. He will absolutely be a value in redraft and probably in Dynasty right now, honestly.
Yes, everything you just said is absolutely correct. Injuries is always going to be the problem with Chris Carson.
Yeah.
There's no one really there to challenge him. Nope. I mean, Carlos Hyde is a thorn in the side of whatever running back he's with. I know, and he's gone now. So that frees up Chris Carson. Oh yeah, he went to Jacksonville, didn't he? So I guess that might be bad for James Robinson a little bit. No, but like I think Chris Carson is the guy. It would be, now that I'm saying this out loud, they're drafting some terrible running back in the second because that's whatever. But no, I love DJ Dallas. No, ever since we had CJ Procise, who was going to be the next David Johnson.
I used to love Procise.
I loved Procise, but he also couldn't stay healthy either. Chris Carson, absolutely everything you said is right. He can be around that 10 to 12 if he stays healthy the entire season. Chances are he'll be that 16-ish range because he's going to miss 4 games, and he'll get the work. He'll get he gets a bunch of dump downs. He'll get a lot of work during the season. So as long as he stays healthy, he absolutely can, but he's not going to stay healthy.
Yeah, I mean, Garrett Price from the Dynasty Nerds, he's the one I see on Twitter leading the DJ Dallas hype train a lot of the time. I honestly didn't see that much from him in his games this past season.
I know.
He did a good job receiving, but rushing the ball, it was pretty meh.
Well, I mean, that's what he is. He's a receiving back. He's not really supposed to be a rushing back. And the thing is, they've never... I mean, maybe they tried at first when they drafted CJ Procise, but they've never had a quote-unquote receiving back. They like having an every-down guy. I mean, that's what was so great about Marshawn Lynch. Like, the dude could catch passes very well. He was by no means what we have nowadays in the league, where Christian McCaffrey ran freaking wide receiver drills in the combine. Like, that wasn't Lynch, but he could run wheel routes and still catch the ball. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, and so that's kind of what they look for, and that's what Chris Carson is. So I don't think they'll use DJ Dallas very often. So like if they traded Russell Wilson and ended up with Sam Darnold, then yes, DJ Dallas would be all the rage. But sorry, it's probably not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. No. All right, Brian, thanks for coming out to the stream, man. Have a good one. We need to get you on here soon, dude. I'll see you. Anyway, so you just brought up the Russell Wilson trade rumors, kind of. I wanted to get your feeling on the Russell Wilson smoke. Do you think? I think things have calmed down over the past couple weeks, but a couple weeks ago, it looked like he might be getting traded soon. So I just want to know what you think about the situation as a whole. I'm sure you love Russell Wilson, so
I'm gonna have probably a take you might not hear from your average Seahawks fan.
That's fine.
I've wanted Pete Carroll and John Schneider, their GM, out for about 4 years now.
I actually have heard this. I think people do not like Pete Carroll.
Yeah, okay, cool. Then I haven't heard. No one's usually agreed with me, so it's awesome that if you've heard that before. Like I've wanted them out. Burn it to the ground and start over. And if you're burning it to the ground, I would feel bad for Russell Wilson still being there, is what it
That's
comes
true.
down to. Like, I like him as a player. I like him as a human being. And he's the loyal kind of person that would probably stick around. But, man, throw him to somewhere else where he can compete because he deserves it because he's that damn good. Like,
He's so good.
I remember when he got his second contract, where he got his second contract and he was the highest paid NFL player ever, as most quarterbacks are when their contract comes up.
Happens like every year.
Well, not anymore. No one's beaten that Mahomes one, but
no.
Everyone was like, why are you going to give him this contract if they're not going to throw the ball? And what no one really noticed at the time was he was so good it didn't matter. Mm-hmm. Like, you needed someone as good as Russell Wilson, because if you're only throwing the ball 18 times a game, you need 17 completions. You need someone that good and that efficient, and he was. And they're like, unless you're getting Drew Brees or Tom Brady at the time, there wasn't much else like that. No. Unless like Chad Pennington would come out of retirement, because I mean that's what he was, right? So no, like I love Russell Wilson, and what he does, it may literally be magic. I don't know how he gets out of some of those sacks and runs around for 15 minutes. Yeah. So now that everything's gone, like, I'm sure everything's going to be fine. I really hope that they listen to him, because everything he's saying was kind of right. Like, I know people don't like the diva aspect of players getting involved in front office, but
I like it personally.
It's the times we're in, regardless if you like it or not. Like, I am absolutely a get off my lawn kind of old man.
Oh,
like,
for sure.
I absolutely am, but you got to be a little realistic. This man not only is the face of your franchise, he's one of the faces of the NFL, and you're giving him so much money. Why not keep him alive by helping him with offensive linemen, which is one of the things he was asking for anyway.
Yeah.
But keep him happy. And you're not going to do everything he says, but give him a seat at the table, whether you listen to his voice while he's there or not.
I mean, look at Kansas City. I mean, Patrick Mahomes handpicked Clyde Edwards-Helaire last year. May have been the right choice? No, maybe not. But he picked this guy, and it makes him happy, and it gives him a say what's happening in the franchise, and I feel like that's the correct decision to make. It doesn't have to necessarily be the GM calling Russ on draft night and saying, hey, who do you want here? But he should have a say in if he's airing the ball out in the offense, like what kind of scheme they're running, what he's comfortable with doing. And if he goes to the front office and says, hey, I want to do this and not this, they should try to, I mean, they don't have to listen to him, but they should at least try to accommodate him somewhat. Like, I feel like you're requesting him saying, hey, like, let me pass the ball a ton, but like asking for offensive linemen so you don't get on your ass every 5 seconds is not a ridiculous request. Yeah, no,
I mean, I have to feel like some of it was overblown, like all of this, because like maybe they wanted to see what they could get. Like, maybe if they got someone who was willing to, like, the Bears offer is the only one we know of, so I'm gonna just pretend that's the only one they got. So let's break down what that trade really was, because on one hand it was 3 firsts and 2 very good defending players. But let's break down what it really was. 3 very late firsts and 2 dudes they're going to cut anyway.
Yep.
So when you put it like that, you're just like, oh, all right. Like, I think they were hoping that someone in the top 5 of this draft was going to send them multiple firsts, because
the trade I kept talking about for Deshaun Watson, that I think that any team like Russell Wilson, I think it would have been an awesome trade. It's Miami, give Tua the number 3 pick at the time and something else, and I feel like that would be an amazing.
I would have been all about getting Tua on this team right now. And there was of course, they wouldn't do it with the Niners because the Niners are in their division, but there was also like Nick Bosa and a first and a second or something. I'm like, yes, give me a Bosa right now. Bring him over. And I know that would kill the offense, but I don't care. We'd have a Bosa on our team. I would buy that jersey instantly. And my best friend's a Niners fan, and that would just really piss him off.
Dude, your division's tough as hell.
Yes.
And I'm a Steelers fan, so I can kind of, I mean, the AFC North, no cakewalk.
Oh, Rose, you're a Steelers fan?
Yeah. That's fine.
I'm still mad for
Steelers. You're a Seahawks fan. That doesn't make sense.
Because they beat them in the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah, that's true. You're welcome.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't really remember that Super Bowl, so sorry. But
I got into football that year, and I picked this. I was a big hockey fan growing up, and
Are you excited about the Kraken?
I stopped watching hockey because before you were born, the hockey went on strike a lot. Like, every other year they went on strike. They missed a season. They missed half a season. I'm just like, I can't do this anymore. It killed my excitement. My friend goes, "You need to play this video game," and he hands me a copy of NFL 2K5.
Oh
And
man,
I'm just
that
like,
game's supposed to be like legendary.
yes, it was. And I was done. I'm like, what? I don't have the attention span for multiple sports because when I go in, I go in. So I'm like, this is it now. I'm a football fan, and I picked the Seahawks because I always ended up. It's funny. You always did. Back then they had fantasy drafts free to in the mat in like in
Yes, they need to bring that
format,
back, man.
and I always ended up with Matt Hasselbeck as my quarterback because he was accurate and no one else picked him because he was, his overall rating was low. So I'm like, all right, I like Matt Hasselbeck. I'm going to be a Seahawks fan. Their jerseys are pretty. Okay, let's do this. And then, man, they just got screwed in that Super Bowl. That I'm just like, all right, this is it. Super Seahawks, let's go.
Yeah, that was a rough one.
Yeah.
Speaking
I forgot where the
Super
story
Bowls,
came from.
No, I'm kidding. I'm not going to bring up Marshawn Lynch. Real quick, though, I will. Like, how painful was that for you on a scale of 1 to 10?
I was watching the game at a friend's house in a room with hardwood floors. And I'm standing with my head on my hands, literally jumping up and down. I see they run a pass play, and I like grip my head really freaking hard. And then you see it get blown up right away. You see Malcolm Butler know what play is getting run. And I went from standing up, like, do you watch Family Guy?
Yeah.
Do you know how, like, when Peter Griffin falls down, there's no motion? It's literally he's standing and then he's on the ground.
Yeah, he's like,
that was me, face first on a hardwood floor. Literally just went, oh, yeah. It did not go great for me. And the worst part was my cousin is a Pats fan. Mm-hmm. And for our keeper league, we had live drafts. And of course, we bet a jersey bet. Whoever teams won, the other one had to wear. I had to wear frickin' Brady jersey to the draft next year. Yeah.
That probably hurt really bad.
It was not great. I'm not gonna lie. It did not feel good.
I actually have a very different story to that one. My best friend at the time, I was in like 7th or 8th grade or something. I don't even know. But my best friend at the time was a Patriots fan. He still is a Patriots fan. He was at my house. He was at my house for the Super Bowl, for the 28-3 Super Bowl, and for this Super Bowl. So I got to see quite the reactions out of this man. He was like depressed, like when they're on the 1 yard line. He was just like distraught, like about to like just lose his mind. And then I'm pretty sure he just like never went to sleep after the interception happened. That man was like an Energizer bunny. But anyway, I won't dwell on that for too long. Where were we?
I'm used to it. It's fine. Okay, no, wait. Since we're telling bad Super Bowl stories, my best friend, who's a Niners fan, when the first time I ever really hung out with him, because I met with a group of friends, and we only hung out, with that group of friends. One of the few times I hung out without those guys and just him and a other group of people I didn't know was for the 49ers Ravens Super Bowl.
Oh, that was a good one.
Except the Niners lost. So I'm watching the game, and his wife is a Ravens fan, by the way. So that was fun. So we're watching the game, and the Niners lose, and I could not find him. He stormed out and locked himself in the basement, and I'm like, dude, I'm gonna leave now, and I can't find Tim. They're just like, Tim's in the basement, and like I awkwardly like go down, I knock on the door, I'm like, thanks for inviting me over, I'll see you later. Doesn't respond, nothing. I didn't hear from him for 4 days. Like I was texting his wife, yo, is Tim alive? He's alive. All right, then I'll leave him alone. It was days before he resurfaced.
I'm lucky to have not suffered a crushing Super Bowl defeat yet. Well, I mean, the Packers Super Bowl was bad, but I don't really remember it that much, so it's okay. I remember them losing. I was like sad, but like I don't really like. I didn't really care at the time. So far, the only championship for one of my teams that I've like fully been like able to appreciate was, okay, this sounds super gross. You're going to judge me probably. I always have to explain myself. I'm not a bandwagon. I'm a Steelers, Lakers, and Yankees fan. Thanks, Dad. Well, thank you because they're great teams, but thank you because everyone thinks I'm a bandwagon who they ever come across ever.
So your dad was the bandwagon fans in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. Well, not actually, because like, so here's the reason I always explain. So Apparently my grandpa was a Lakers fan growing up, so they always just liked the Lakers for some reason. So maybe my grandpa was a bandwagon in like the 70s. I don't know. And then my dad just grew up a Lakers fan with like his entire family. And then my dad's side of the family, they're from Pennsylvania, so they're Steelers fans. And then growing up, my dad didn't really pay attention to baseball, but his best friend at the time was from New York. So he became a Yankees fan with his best friend. So that's the reasoning I have. So I don't know. But anyway, the only championship I've fully got to experience so far and truly enjoy was the Lakers won last season, which was awesome. I really enjoyed that. That was great because, I mean, like I've explained, I'm only 20. So, like, I don't really remember. Like, I vaguely remember them winning in, like, 2010 with Kobe. But, like, not really. The first season I was, like, truly starting to be an NBA fan was in 2013, the season where they got Dwight Howard and Steve Nash, and everyone thought they were going to win the NBA championship. And it did not happen, and Kobe tore his Achilles. And then from about 2014 to about 2017 is what I call the Lakers' dark ages.
Yes, they were.
Where they were awful. They were so bad. But I toughed it out, and then they finally got some good young players like Lonzo and Brandon Ingram and all those dudes, and they got LeBron, and they traded all the young players I loved for Anthony Davis, and then we won a title. So I was very happy about that. I bought like $200 of championship merch after they won because I was like, this doesn't happen every day. I have to go all in.
Absolutely, 100%. You celebrate. Don't listen to what anyone else says. Buy all that crap. It doesn't matter. Yeah, absolutely. I still have a beanie and a scarf with pins all over it from when the Seahawks won. Yeah, no. Go all out, man, because like you said, like everyone was, well, no, the Chiefs ended up like, if I forgot who it was, like someone, like go back to like Dan Marino, like they made it to the Super Bowl when he was young, and they're like, oh, he'll be back, doesn't matter, and he never made it back. Like, it doesn't matter how good you are, doesn't matter how good your team is, you're not guaranteed yourself the way back. Like Aaron Rodgers, man.
The NFL playoffs are brutal. It's win and go home.
Yeah.
So it's tough. I mean, in the NBA, I feel like I said this before. Like, I feel like the NBA is the best sport as far as like consistency goes. Like, I feel like it's more proven for like the best team to win, just because it's a 7-game series. And like in baseball, it's a little bit more random because, you know, like one swing of the bat, like you can get like 4 runs. So like it's a little bit more random. And then the NFL, I mean, like anything can happen. I mean, it's one football game. I mean, like any team in the NFL can beat any team in the NFL any given week, you know? I mean, look at Eli Manning did to Tom Brady. So, I mean, anything's possible.
Hey, man, that both Giants championships, Eli only really had anything to do with like 1 or 2 plays. Both of those were absolutely the D lines. Like Steve Spagnuolo made a lifetime of money in those 2 Super Bowls. Like he'll have a job until he doesn't want one anymore for crap he did at this point, like 14 years ago.
That's true, though. Yeah, that's true. That's funny. But I asked you a second ago, so I don't think we ever got to. Are you excited for the Seattle Kraken? If you used to be a hockey fan.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot. Yes, that's gonna be awesome. Like, you know, their jerseys were really freaking cool looking. But no, because I mean, I'm not really. Every year I say I'm gonna get back into hockey, and I'll watch like 2 games, and I'll freak the hell out. I'll have so much fun, and then again, like I love football. That it's like days, like you know when there's football.
Yeah, I agree. That's me with baseball every year. I'm always like, I need to get more into baseball. So because like the Yankees are good, and then nothing. I always just give up after like maybe a month. Just because, dude, baseball it's a grind, dude. There's so many games. You
don't have to watch baseball till the end. It's the same way, kind of the same way like basketball. I mean, basketball games you don't have to watch to the 4th quarter because it doesn't really matter. Everything changes in the last 5 minutes anyway. And it's the same thing, you know. It's like player, especially because there's like 82 games, I guess, both in hockey and in basketball. But it's like LeBron takes breaks, especially now that he's older. But even when he was younger, like he sat out games. So it's like individual games, especially in the regular season, especially in the beginning of the regular season, never really mattered. So that's why the 16 games, well now 17 games and now 18 games. I keep saying 16 because of fantasy. Like every single game matters. So it's like Patrick Mahomes can't take a game off because he wants to rest, because that one game, maybe it just takes them out of home field advantage, or maybe that's that thing that knocks them out of the division title. I mean, that one game matters so much in 18 as opposed to baseball's like what 160 something,
162, I believe, or something like that.
Gross.
It's a ton. It's way too many. And the thing that's the problem with baseball right now, in my opinion, is it's kind of like how the NFL had the whole like no fun league thing for a long time. It's even worse than that, in my opinion. I mean, a guy from the Reds the other day, I mean, he like stood over a guy and like stared him down after, I forget what he did. Either he hit a home run or like stole a base or something. And he got suspended for like 2 games.
Well, not even that, like players police, you look at a dude for too long after hitting a home run and you're getting pegged the next time you're up.
Yeah.
It's weird. There's so much to baseball beyond it. It's far too much. And I got to just put it out there. Baseball's boring. So that, and also boring. I'm ridiculously scarred from being forced to play it when I was a kid because my dad was a baseball fan.
Don't worry about that real quick. Actually, I kind of the same thing. My dad's a huge baseball fan, big Yankees fan, huge Yankees fan. We have a Yankees basement in my house. Yeah, big Yankees fan. But anyway, when I was younger, I mean, I played t-ball and all that. Mm-hmm. I played baseball until about like the end of 4th grade. I sucked at it, and here's why. When I was playing t-ball, I was at second base, and somebody hit a line drive, and it hit me right in the cheek.
Mm-hmm.
And I literally had the imprint of like the ball on my face for like a week. And after that, I sucked because I was scared of the ball the whole time. So when I was batting, I was like scared of the ball, and when I was fielding, I was like scared of the ball. So I was terrible at baseball. I still enjoyed the hell out of like the game and stuff like that, but I just I was just so bad.
No,
so
like
I never really got to enjoy it fully.
My coaches used to say I had the best eye on the team because I always got walked. I just never wanted to swing.
That's fair.
And oh man, I got kicked out of Little League. Fun story.
Wait, what? How did you get kicked out of Little League?
I was a catcher because I hated running, and I was a little bit of a bigger kid.
Understandable.
So a very round individual,
of course, rotund.
Was very corpulent. Was at bat, and he swings and like full circle swings and wailed me in the back of the hit the ball.
Ooh.
Spins and wails me in the back of the head with the bat.
Dude, I always forget about that in baseball. Like the catchers get hit in the face, man.
Well, I mean, like he like swearing, and I'm laying on the ground, and this fat a-hole's rounding the bases. My entire team's running towards me, like trying to make sure I'm alive, and this fat a-hole's rounding the bases. So the game, whatever, I'm fine. Like I go back, I play, which they probably shouldn't have let me, but completely besides the point. So at Little League, at the end of the game, you walk and you shake hands with the other team. I punched the kid right in the stomach.
You did? That's legendary. Oh my god!
They did not let me back. 3rd grade. So what? 8.
That's legendary. I appreciate the hell out of that story.
And it's funny because for like 2 years at that point, I told my dad I didn't want to play baseball. And he's like, no, just stick with it because he wanted me to play sports. He wanted me to play a sport that he liked and all that stuff. So I let him know I'm not playing anymore.
Did you ever play football at any point growing up?
My mom would not let me play football, but I played roller hockey for years. So cool. But to me, hockey's more dangerous.
Oh yeah, I would agree. I never played football growing up. I feel like I probably would have died because when I was younger, I was so skinny. I mean, I've bulked up a little bit. Like I'm like 6 foot, like 175, like pretty skinny.
I'm like 6 foot, like 240. Okay.
I'm pretty skinny still. That's what I'm trying to say. But like a few years ago, I was like 5'10", like 125. Like I was super skinny.
Yeah, you would have gotten snapped in half playing football.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like when I was younger in like 7th, 8th grade, like I was like 5'10", like 130. Like I would have been skewered by some like meaty linebackers. So like I'm kind of thankful I didn't play football, but I love football now so much that like I wish I played when I was younger because I love it now. Like you know how I am. Everyone on Fantasy Twitter, like we're all a bunch of nerds.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah, I mean I love football, but I never played growing up. I mean I played. Oh, speaking of stories where we got hit in the head and probably should have been pulled by a coach, but we didn't because, concussions were weird. So I played soccer for a long time growing up. I played soccer from like kindergarten or preschool through like 8th grade. And I was pretty good. Like if I kept at it, I probably would have played on the varsity or JV team in high school, but I switched to track and cross country. I was pretty good at that too. I played I ran like varsity track. It was fun. But I played indoor soccer during the winter. I played like year round pretty much. And I played defense, but I was playing offense and indoor because we didn't really care as much. It was more just for fun.
Run around and try and score goals, yeah.
It was fun. Our teams were good though. But in indoor, the field's smaller and it's kind of weird. And I remember like people did this all the time in soccer. Like when the goalie was going to like punt the ball, like there's no rule saying you can't get close to them or like, try to take it from them. I mean, when they're holding it, you can't like swipe it out, you know what I mean? But you can't like pressure them. And I like ran towards him to pressure him when he was punting the ball. And that kid drilled me square in the head with like a punt.
Oh, damn. That's a hurt.
Like, max 10 feet away. Max 10 feet away. I got drilled in the face. I didn't go down at all. I definitely was seeing stars a little bit. Coach asked me if I wanted to come out. I said no. Game did not stop, and I proceeded to volunteer to play goalie later that game for some reason. And
getting hit in the head
I'm
once
pretty sure I was the
wasn't
reason we
enough.
lost that game. Even though I was good at soccer, but I don't know why the hell I volunteered to play goalie. Maybe I was just thoroughly concussed. But
When I was forced to play soccer, I played goalie because there was the least movement.
I see a track record in your childhood of just wanting to do the least amount of activity possible in sports. I appreciate that. I
liked video games. I was a big video game and movie guy.
Yeah, I mean, I still do. I did both growing up. I mean, I love video games. Well, video games were like your favorites when you were younger.
Oh man, see, I was a spoiled kid. I had every single system ever as they came around. Like going back to, yeah, but I had an Atari. Man, I loved every single game. The only I was never a PlayStation guy. I don't know what it is. I never got into any of the PlayStations except like.
Did you Xbox or no?
Yeah, Resident Evil, of course.
Man, I have one right over there.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't played at least since kids, so that's like 7-8 years ago. But oh man, one of the greatest things I'll ever. It's funny. My wife gets so mad when I say this. I'm married. I have 2 kids. And I could say with 100% certainty, one of the greatest things that ever happened in my life was that we used to hook up Xboxes to movie theater screens and play theater to theater in Halo.
That's awesome.
It is freaking amazing.
How did you do that? Did you have to pay, or did you just know somebody in the movie theater?
We worked at a theater. So
that's awesome.
And this was back in my day, when there was actual film. But before the movies started, there was those commercials. Yep. That was on a digital projector, and there was no security. It was new. Like they didn't even think about it. So it was red, the red, white, yellow. So we literally just plugged the Xbox in, got awesome. Really long extension cords and insanely long Ethernet cables. Yeah, we played Xbox to Xbox. We played Halo on movie screens. It's, again, one of the coolest things I'll ever do in my entire life.
That's awesome, man. I never actually. I'm kind of sad. I missed out on the Halo days.
Yes,
never really got to play Halo. I mean, I got the Call of Duty experience, but yes. I never really got the Halo experience at all.
Halo 1 was like.
I've heard Halo 3. I've heard Halo 3 is the one that's like legendary.
I stopped by then because 2 was bad, and by the time 3 came out, I was already with my wife at that time, so I wasn't hanging out with friends playing video games as much. But no, man, when 1 came out, there was first-person shooters before that, clearly, but nothing like that. It was just so good and so different.
Yeah, but I mean, I need to just download a random Halo game and just play it.
Yeah, you should. It's regardless. I'm sure they're still fun, even though the graphics may not be what they should anymore.
They keep coming out. They're coming out with new ones still. They might not be as hyped or as good, obviously, but they're still coming out with new titles. I'm pretty sure they're Xbox exclusive these days.
Yes, well, they've always been.
Yeah, I was gonna say I feel like they always have been.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I definitely want to try them out. I also was a little late to the Call of Duty phase, but I got in there for some prime years, I'd say. But yeah, it's been fun. Yeah, I don't really know where to go from here, but it's been a good time. I still need to order dinner. Funny story. I played Xbox for like 5 hours this afternoon because I was doing nothing. And then I got tired of sitting in this desk chair I'm in because I'm in a dorm room. I have like 3 chairs in here. So 2 of them are the same. So my back gets tired of this one. So I was like, okay, I'll lay down on my bed because that's what you do in your dorm room. You lay down in your bed. And then, I was just chilling. I was like, yeah, I'll take a nap. I didn't set an alarm because it was like 6:30. And I was like, yeah, so this should be fine. And then I just went to sleep and then woke up at 8:50 p.m. I slept for like 2.5 hours and I did not mean to. And I was like, it is dark in my room. Why is it dark in here? I need dinner still. So I'm going to order pizza after this.
I had the exact opposite experience. My wife is away for the weekend at a bachelorette party, and my in-laws took the kids. So like I get off of work at 4. I work from home now since COVID, and so at 4:30 I get off of work, and I'm like, all right, well I haven't had the house to myself in like a year and a half now. So all right, so I sat on the couch and I caught up on Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Don't spoil it. I need to watch it still. I'm doing an MCU rewatch with my girlfriend because she hasn't seen most of them, and I'm like,
That's awesome.
I'm doing the boyfriend thing where like I force her to watch something she doesn't really want to watch, but I know she'll like it. We're on Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Oh, you're pretty in there.
Yeah, we're getting there. I think we're like halfway, but yeah, I'm saving Falcon and the Winter Soldier till we're done so we can watch.
Oh yeah, you should. Like you kind of have to. But it's really freaking good. And then
I've heard it's awesome.
On Amazon Prime, there's the new show. It's a cartoon, Invincible. It's based on a comic book. The comic is freaking amazing, and the show's pretty good. And I watched 2 episodes of Falcon and Winter Soldier and 4 episodes of Invincible, and I ordered Domino's because I haven't eaten that in probably 4 years. So I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I'm by myself. I'm going to eat crappy and watch crap that my wife would never watch with me. So I sat on the couch by myself, complete quiet, except for my wonderful nerdy TV.
That's awesome, dude. How do you feel about Domino's, by the way? Because Domino's, for me, is personally my favorite, like, fast food pizza chain. Yes. I don't know if that's, like, agreed upon, but I love Domino's.
No, Domino's is easily my favorite. It's also the only one we really have around here. We don't have a Papa John's. When Little Caesars was an actual... Before you were born, Little Caesars, it was great. It was that probably, if that were still around and it was what it was, that would probably be my favorite. Little Caesars now isn't the same thing.
They changed. I actually didn't know they changed it like that.
Yeah, it's not the same as it used to be because after it used to be its own store, and then they ended up inside of like Kmart's and like
they still have their own stores around where I live. Like there's one like maybe 5 minutes down the road, and it's its own store. They have a drive.
They came back. They came back after a while. Okay. There's still none around me. There's no Papa John's. There was for about 20 minutes, and it went away. There's no Pizza Hut near me, but even still, it's
Pizza Hut's garbage these days.
It's far too greasy. You eat 2 slices and you feel like you're dying. At least Domino's, I can eat a pie before I feel like I'm dying.
Yeah.
So, I mean, unless the fact that I get the Parmesan bread twists with the garlic dipping sauce. But no, easily Domino's is the best fast food pizza.
Yeah, it's so good, dude.
Oh, hey, Nolan. This is my son, Nolan.
What's up, Nolan? I like his Pokemon pajamas.
He likes your Pokemon pajamas? You're not going to talk?
Hi.
Okay.
Hey. If he needs something, you can talk to him for a second. But I'm just kind of chilling. But yeah, that's sick. What should I order for pizza later? I'm not talking to you.
You can go get yours.
I might get Domino's actually.
Go for it, man. I got the pizza.
The pizza?
Yeah. Pepperoni, sausage, bacon, and ham.
Dude, my favorite thing to do with Domino's right now is they have the it's supposed to be like a special deal, I think, but they've been doing it for the past like year and a half. There's 2 for $12 thing. You can get 2 medium, 2 topping pizzas for $12. It's an amazing deal.
Yes.
It's so good. Me and my girlfriend do that sometimes. We both get our own medium pizza for like $6 each, and it's awesome because I mean I can eat an entire medium pizza, but I don't. So I usually eat like 4 to 5 pieces because I'm fat. Not actually, but I eat a lot. And then I put it in the fridge, and then I eat it the next day or later that night at like 3 a.m. And it's the best.
Oh man, I miss those days of being able to do that crap.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. I definitely am taking full advantage. I do work out. I'm not lazy. I work out like 3-ish times a week, I'd say. I've been trying to get back into running shape because, like I said earlier, I ran track and cross country in high school. So I definitely have been in really good running shape before. Definitely have slipped out of it after I stopped running track senior year of high school. I'm a sophomore in college now, so like it hasn't been that long. So like I still have it in me, but I need to get back in shape a little bit more. But I've been having
exercising was never my deal. Like this, when I was in high school, not in high school, when I was in college, and then shortly thereafter, I played in like at least one roller hockey league and then played on the weekends with my friends. So I'm like, to me, like that, I'll call that my exercise. So I did no working out besides that, which meant, I play for about a half hour and then start sucking wind because I was in terrible shape. But still, I sweat like a madman and I it would be sore as hell afterwards. So I considered that a workout.
Yeah, I don't. So please explain to me what roller hockey is exactly, because I am not too familiar, if I'm being honest.
It's hockey on roller skates. I mean, it's literally the exact same thing. Your rink is a little smaller, but otherwise and usually it's 4-on-4 instead of 5-on-5, just because again the rink is smaller.
That's fair. And it's not obviously
indoor
not
soccer.
ice.
No. Basketball, not sports court or whatever they call
like
it.
A hardwood kind of deal.
Well, not wood. Like that. Like what indoor basketball courts are made of. That like gym flooring, not the soft ones, but it's exactly like that. It's just. Yeah, like 4-on-4, you play with a hard plastic puck, not like the thick rubber ice hockey puck. But and less padding, pretty much.
But there's no walls though.
Yeah, there's rink. There's boards.
Oh, there is? Okay, well then never mind then. That's interesting. I just didn't know. I was thinking about I don't know if I've ever seen a roller hockey game played.
You said you play indoor soccer. The only reason I know the aspects of indoor soccer is because the place I played had an indoor soccer court.
That makes sense. I mean, that makes
next
sense.
to the hockey rink. Yeah,
there is like an indoor sports complex. Probably. Those are pretty cool. I've always been a fan of those. I played basketball. I played like rec basketball in high school. I was a rec basketball warrior. You know me. But I'm in college, obviously, and there's a street court like right across the street from my dorm.
Nice.
It's awesome. It's like the only one on campus, which is great. But there's some nasty games of 5-on-5 that go down over there. I'm pretty good, I'd say. Like I'm not a great basketball player. I didn't make the high school team or anything like that. Like I was a rec basketball player, but I'm pretty good. I play a lot. And these guys are like good. Like I feel like a lot of these dudes played like varsity in high school and stuff. It's super fun to play. But I like when I play like back at home with my friends, like I'm like I shoot a lot. I'm like more of a scoring player. Here I play like freaking like Alex Caruso. Like I pass and play defense and like know my place. It's super fun, but like those guys are really good over there. It's just really funny. Like everyone on campus like flocks to the street court. It's fun though because we play like full court 5-on-5 and stuff. But
yeah, that's pretty awesome. Yeah, no, I peaked in basketball when I was very young because I got tall fast. And
you were one of those guys.
So I was a center, and then everyone else caught up to me because I stopped growing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, maybe I'm not that good at basketball.
Yeah, that's the thing that sucks. And like I've seen a lot of people in the sports world in general talk about like how youth basketball should try to change to more of a positionless game, because it happens all the time. To not like positionless in the sense of like you're playing center, but like teaching the skill sets of like a guard and like dribbling and passing.
Oh, absolutely, they should be doing that. Well, I mean, it's funny, like when there's always that one really good kid, like. In my high school, there was one kid that was just better than everyone else. He also happened to be taller than everyone else. So he still played guard because, if he were to go on to the next level, he was only like 6'4". It's not like he was 7 feet. So going forward, he would be guard, like a shooting guard. But, he still would play center every once in a while because, again, he was taller than everyone else. But still, he would start out at the 3-point line playing quarterback for the team because I speak in football terms. So he's going back playing point guard. I know. First he'll call the play, start running the play, and then he'll throw it off and go back under the hoop because he could literally just be like, all right, over the person that's trying to guard.
What's up, Ethan? Ethan's my girlfriend's brother. He's awesome.
Hey, man.
What's up, Ethan? Thanks for coming through. Ethan, I'm gonna play GeoGuessr with you on stream later. It'll be fun. Have you played GeoGuessr?
I don't even know what that is.
It's awesome. It's a game where like Google Earth, right? Where you can like drop in and like go like Street View.
Yeah.
It's a game where they just put you in a random place anywhere in the world, like within reason. They put you in a random place and you have to like walk around and guess where you are on a map, and you have to like guess like a location, and then it like tells you how far away you are and gives you points. It's super fun.
Kind of cool.
Yeah,
I mean, really I'd be terrible at it because I have a terrible sense of direction and I've never gone anywhere in my life, so I wouldn't actually be able to recognize anything, but that sounds pretty cool.
It's not bad. Like it really isn't that hard because if you like walk for far enough, you can see I mean, it's pretty easy to tell like the language on a sign if you're in the United States or like Korea, Japan, or something. I think the hardest part is distinguishing between like the random European countries and like China, Korea, and Japan. But like besides that, it really isn't that bad. Ethan says that Battle Royale GeoGuessr is fun because all you have to do is guess the country and we can make a private match. Oh, that's fun. Okay, we actually should do that. Yeah, let's do that. I was playing it earlier, and like it's really fun. Like there was one place earlier where I thought we were in like the Bahamas because I thought it was the United States because everything was in English, and then their cars were on the left side of the road, and I was like, okay, this is not America. I thought it might have been like Hawaii or something, but then I found like some different weird things. I was like, okay, maybe this is like the Bahamas. And I guessed that it was like Southern Africa. So I was very wrong. But yeah, it's a really fun game. I like it a lot. You should check it out if you're ever bored.
Oh, and that is quite often, so maybe I will.
Yeah, it's really fun. I think the only thing is like you have to like pay like $2 after you play like 5 games or something, but it's like $2. But I don't know. It's super fun. I'm probably gonna play that with him in a little bit, but yeah, man. I try to keep these things to around about an hour, and we just crossed the threshold. So
but he wants to know if I like.
What do you say?
He wants to know if I like Dalton, and I'm guessing he's talking about Andy Dalton. And
yeah, he's a Bears fan. He's also a bit of a troll.
No, honestly, people forget that when you put Andy Dalton in a very good situation, he's very good.
Is this a very good situation, though?
The offensive line is good enough.
That's true.
David Montgomery has showed that he can be good enough in a good enough offense. Though I think Trubisky's, we'll call it spontaneity to be nice, was good for Montgomery. While that is not Dalton's game, but having A-Rob, having Mooney, and I like Cole Kmet. So they'll probably draft a wide receiver. So like he has good weapons. Like so, I do like Dalton in where he is. So they could have done worse, especially with how little they spent. So once they didn't get Russell Wilson, I am completely fine with Dalton as a consolation prize, we'll call him.
He thinks you're going 17-0. He's also a big Trubisky fan, the Nickelodeon MVP. Only MVP in existence, Mitch Trubisky.
He was fun. I will give for whatever he was as an NFL quarterback. The games were never boring.
No, they weren't. Trubisky, I mean, he wasn't the best, but he really wasn't that horrible,
The problem was, and I know you were trying to wind down, and now I'm starting up again.
Oh, it's cool. It's fine.
Him and Nagy were bad together. That was the real big problem. Every once in a while, you saw by the end of the season, Nagy just got annoyed and let Trubisky do whatever the hell he want. And they started winning games and scoring 40 points. But 2 weeks later, they would just be like, nope, stay under center. You're not allowed to run. You're not allowed to move. Just play like a pocket quarterback. And he would be terrible because he's not good at that.
Yeah, so, it's really strange the way I've said the Bulls. The Bears feel really weird lately as far as the team. Like, they had that one elite season where they made the deep playoff run. They had the double doink. Sorry, Ethan. I had to bring it up. And then that whole thing happened. And ever since that point, I feel like everyone the next season kind of thought that maybe Trubisky could take the next step and they'd be like an elite powerhouse for like a few years. And then they lost their defensive coordinator, Vic Fangio, to Denver. And then the defense wasn't really as good. And then they're in a bit of a quarterback purgatory right now. It's kind of strange.
Yeah, they're annoyingly okay.
Yeah, they're annoyingly average.
It's absolutely tough because with one step they could be great, with one step they could be terrible, and you never know which direction they're walking in.
Oh yeah, for sure. Last little segment before we wrap up, I want to get your thoughts on the rookie quarterbacks. I don't know how much you are in the whole like Devy scouting kind of land. I mean, everyone has an opinion on rookie quarterbacks, I feel like right now. So what did Ethan say? Bears social media didn't even make a thank you video for Mitch. That was uncalled for. They didn't? That's actually kind of mean.
That's kind of rough. I mean, I know that Bears weren't super respectful with the whole Nick Foles thing, but he still was the starter through the season. So they should have, and for a couple of seasons, they should have at least, give him a bye Felicia gif or something, like give him something.
They didn't have to make like a Grand's like crying goodbye video. He did get you to the playoffs twice. Speaking of getting to the playoffs and not winning, Andy Dalton's really good at that, Ethan.
Ouch.
Really good at that. As a Steelers fan, I have rubbed that in Bengals fans' face for a long time. Like, my best friend in the world is a Bengals fan. And every time like he talks about how good they used to be, I'm like, okay, so how many years did they make the like? He's always like, they made the playoffs like so many years. I'm like, how many games did they win? It's like 0.
That's rough. I got nothing. That's rough.
Yeah, that was just rough. That was the curse of Marvin Lewis.
Oh, he was so mediocre. That is the oh man, so mediocre.
Yeah, he's such a mediocre coach. Like,
See, they were good in that the Bengals were at the time were one of the definitions of when you needed to tell someone that the NFL was a business and they don't always care about winning. They were good enough to make sure they always sold out their stadium. So they never rocked the boat. They never got rid of Marvin Lewis. They kept bringing them all back because they were selling tickets. They didn't
Bengals
need...
owner is one of the worst in the sport. Mike Brown is a terrible owner.
I mean, yes. But, you know, there's a couple that easily rival him, the Johnsons and Snyder and yeah.
You don't like Snyder.
Dan Snyder of the Washington football team? Oh no, he's an awful human being.
God, I mixed him up with the Seahawks owner for some reason. Yeah, I hate that guy.
No, John Schneider is the GM. Is Paul Allen still on the Seahawks?
Yeah, I mixed him up. I know what you mean. I knew there was a Snyder somewhere in the Seahawks organization, but yeah, the Washington.
The other GM.
Dan Snyder is a piece of garbage. I hate that man.
Yes, 100%.
I tweeted about it recently. You probably didn't see it, but they came out and said that he bought 40% more equity in the team.
Yes.
I mean, I know it's all about money, but the NFL should not have allowed that to happen.
No, they should what was it? Sterling? Was that the Clippers?
Sterling. They need to get him out of there.
Yeah, they should pull that on him because especially with the stuff that keeps coming out, they should, for the good of the league, kick him out.
Yeah, please. I wonder how the players in the organization feel about that because I bet they hate him. There's no way they like him.
They sign his checks. He signs their checks, other way around. Yep. Yeah.
Ethan thinks the Bears should trade up for Fields. I mean, if possible, but that would cost a lot of capital.
Not worth it. No,
you don't like Justin Fields?
Oh, I love Justin Fields. I just don't think what they would have to give up at this point would.
They're picking at 20, so that'd be a huge jump.
You're talking about what you'd have to have traded for Russell Wilson to move up to get Justin Fields. And we've seen Russell Wilson do it. Well, I like the idea of Justin Fields. We haven't seen him do it in the NFL.
Yeah, real quick. So I was going to get this a second ago. What do you think about the rookie quarterbacks real quick before we wrap up?
It's going to make things interesting. It's going to make things a lot of fun this year because, I mean, the last time we had this much insurgence of rookie quarterbacks was Baker, Lamar, Darnold, Rosen, and half those guys didn't turn out very good.
Yeah. So I like this class a good bit, though. I really do. I think all of them have
wanted to work out because it's good for football and it's good for fantasy. Mm-hmm. And we have a good mix. We have Lawrence, who is freaking amazing. Yep. We have Fields, who could be freaking amazing, who's very good, but Ohio State's never a very good judge of what people can do well. Yeah. And you have Lance, who's the runner. You have Mac Jones, who's
the polished guy,
the perfect 49ers quarterback, even though it seems weird that they traded that up to get him. I'm completely blanking on Wilson, who I honestly don't know that much about, but apparently the Jets are set on him.
Wilson's really good. I really like Zach Wilson. On your own fantasy Twitter, I'm sure you've seen it. He's the community's kind of split on him. I'm in. Everyone likes him, but he could bust. So he played at BYU, and they were ranked a lot of the year last season, but they didn't play very good competition. Mm-hmm. His film is fantastic. He is a gunslinging kind of guy. He has the Mahomesy, Aaron Rodgers-y traits, as the weird sidearm angle throws. He has a really, really good arm. He's good enough to scramble and get yardage, kind of like Rodgers and Mahomes, but he's not a scrambling quarterback like Lawrence can at times, and Trey Lance and stuff like that. But I really like him a lot. He's my QB3. He definitely will be going to the Jets. I think we all know that.
Yeah, it's a given at this point.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see what happens at 3 with the 49ers. Like you said, I think Mac Jones is a great fit for them, but I feel like it's really strange how much capital they traded for Mac Jones.
I don't know. To me, it's still weird that the Jets are going to take Wilson over Fields. So I don't really. To be fair, if you know the Johnsons, it's probably not that weird.
That's true.
Getting a little heavy, but this is going to be one of back to that year where everyone thought Darnold was going first until the day of the draft, where the Browns were like, no, we're taking Baker. We're just like, wait, what?
I remember that. That was crazy. I remember I was at a track meet, and I was like, we were running the 4x400 relay, and 15 minutes. I was in my full like jumpsuit kind of deal. Not jumpsuit, but like short and then like, tank top kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I was like on the sidelines, like warming up. And I had my phone on the ground. I kept checking every like 5 minutes. I had Twitter notifications on. And like somebody said, I remember some big insider or analyst or beat reporter or something tweeted out, "It's Darnold, period." And everyone was like, okay, it's Sam Darnold. And then like an hour later, he like deleted the tweet or something. Yeah. And he was like, okay, maybe not. And then everyone was like, it might be Baker. I actually was a huge fan of them taking Baker number 1. I liked him a good bit coming out. I didn't like Darnold and Rosen very much coming out. I thought they were both kind of weird. I hated Josh Allen at the time. I think a lot of people did.
I think everyone did. I mean, in rookie drafts, Josh Allen was going in the middle of the second in super flex leagues. I mean, it's no one really liked Josh Allen, but I actually loved Josh Rosen. He seemed polished to me. It seemed like he was ready to step. Like it never seemed like he was going to be great. Let's put it that way. Yeah, but it seems like he would absolutely be Jimmy Garoppolo-esque, like better than that, but like something along those lines. Like it seemed like he was ready to step in and be a good game manager.
Yeah, he thought he was going to be amazing. Remember after draft night or like on draft night, he said he was like pick number 10. He's like, I'm going to win a Super Bowl for every team that was like passed on me or something like that. And it was like, okay, buddy.
I mean, people that make it to that level kind of have to have that kind of brain. My brain does not operate like that. So like when Joe Flacco calls himself elite, that he's the best quarterback in the league, and he honestly believes it, and we're just like, hey buddy, have you seen the other guys play? That's the kind of mindset you have to have.
Yeah, it's kill or be killed, and you have to believe in yourself, or else your confidence will turn into Carson Wentz.
Yeah, or, you're supposed to get drafted first. You get drafted like 28th to the Green Bay Packers. You sit on the bench for 2 years, and then you're Aaron Rodgers. I mean, it comes and goes, back and forth about getting dropped in drafts. So, but yeah, no, this year I think is going to be so fun. And I love that, unlike in that 2017 year, or whatever year that was, like everyone's going right away.
I think it was 2018, I think.
Yeah, that sounds more right. These quarterbacks are going to be all top 10 as opposed to we had to wait till 32 for Lamar to get taken.
I bet on Twitter that quarterbacks will go 1 through 4. And if it doesn't happen, I'm eating blazing wings.
You should eat blazing wings anyway. If the Falcons are smart and trade back, then it absolutely will happen.
That's what I'm betting on. They should absolutely trade out.
Because honestly, like if I'm the Falcons, I take literally anything to move back. Like you want that ransom, but if someone's like, let's swap first and I'll give you a second, I'll just be like, that's fine if that's all I can get. Just it's something because you don't need a quarterback. You need a lot. So
you need a lot of other stuff. Exactly. Because Matt Ryan's not that old. If Matt Ryan was 38.
And they just upped him. They upped him for 2 solid years that they can't get out of his contract. Yep. So they're tied to him. So don't bother drafting. Don't Jordan Love him, even though Love was taken way too early anyway. But like don't Aaron Rodgers him. Like none of these guys need that. So he's still on his fields to the Bears. Yeah. Sorry, bro.
Not gonna happen, Ethan.
Not gonna happen.
Wait, Ethan. He made a bet with us. The 3Co podcast. I do. He said that if this is before Watson, all the allegations came out. He said if Deshaun Watson went to the Bears, he would drink a combination of pickle juice and drink it on a live stream. I forget what it was. Or no, pickle juice and mustard, and he would drink it on a live stream for us. And then if he didn't get Deshaun Watson, he would pickle juice and mustard. That's what it was. And if Deshaun Watson didn't go to the Bears, he would drink juice out of a shoe. So Ethan, I'm waiting on the juice out of a shoe.
Would it be one of your track and field shoes?
You could. Ethan, you can go out my house and get one of my old pairs of track shoes or track spikes, even from game worn.
Sorry about that, buddy.
You can do that. You can do it. Yeah, Ethan, we're waiting on the live stream, man. You have I'll give you a deadline of the NFL draft if you're holding out hope for a weird trade. Or we can change it, Ethan, too. If the Bears trade up to 4 for a quarterback, can you pick the juice? Yeah, of course. Why wouldn't you? It's your juice. I mean, you're drinking juice out of a shoe. It can be whatever you want.
Doesn't matter what juice it is at that point.
Yeah, you're drinking out of a shoe. I mean, I think you're already kind of buried at this point. But if for some reason if the Bears trade up to 4 and take a quarterback, I expect the pickle juice and mustard. But if they don't, juice out of a shoe, confirmed. We'll do it on draft night, maybe. We'll see.
All right, I'm here to witness it. It's happening.
It's gonna be awesome. I'm definitely gonna have it on my Twitter or something. It'll be deal. Excellent. Thank you, Ethan. All right, I'm gonna go order dinner and play GeoGuessr with Ethan. So, dude, thank you so much for coming on. Plug yourself one time for the one time because why not? And then we can get out of here.
I am Russ Fisher at Dynasty Outhouse on Twitter. I host the Trade Addicts podcast with Rocky Petrella at Dynasty FF Addict on the Dynasty Addicts Podcast Network, also part of the DLF family of podcasts. And I also co-host the Dynasty Game Night, which is also part of the DLF family podcast with Matt Price and John Bosch. I don't know. I think it's a lot of. Yes, that's also why we're rivals, because we also co-own teams together. So. Yeah, it's fun.
That sounds fun.
It honestly is that we get to argue with
I need to check out your shows, man. I really like talking to you. You're a really nice dude, and you gave some good analysis. I definitely need to check out your shows because I'm in college. I have so much free time in my hands. I mean, I'm a college student without a roommate in the middle of a pandemic.
Oh man, no roommate in college? That has to be so great. I
usually do. It's my best friend, the Bengals fan I was talking about earlier. I mean, we've been best friends since 7th grade. He was here last fall or this past fall last semester. He decided not to come back this semester to save some money because he wants to go to grad school now, and it saves him like $7,000 to stay at home. I was like, okay, whatever. But dorm's empty right now. My girlfriend lives on the 2nd floor. She's home for the weekend, but she's here all the time. So I have friends, but I have so much free time is my point. Like I only have class this semester on Monday and Wednesday. So Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I have so much time. So I definitely need to check out your show. I will.
Please.
All right, but yeah, this was so much fun for coming on. Thank you guys. I almost said that to you. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me, man.
This seriously was awesome. So yeah, I loved it. It was a great time. Ethan, thank you for being in the chat. I love you. We're gonna play you guys in a second. Thank you everyone who was watching this on a replay or was watching right now. So have a great night, everybody. I'm gonna go to order some Domino's. If they're still open, it's 10:30. So we'll see what happens.
Of course they're open. They at least used to be open until like 2:00 on a Friday night.
They better be. We'll see. I mean, it's a college town, so hopefully.
Gotta be.
Yeah. All right, guys. I'll see you all later.